movement music. Let's stick with this. I am trying to be better about streaming in the correct categories. So I'll go ahead and try to find the fitness category. For anybody who doesn't know, what we do now in the stream is just a short little workout. These are workouts that I have been trying to design to be beginner friendly. They probably sit somewhere between beginner and intermediate. And as we're approaching the kind of calisthenic exercises, I offer different modifications that hopefully make it more beginner friendly. Here we are. Let's get onto the workout cam. Double click. Cole says, no, like I wasn't inspired by them as a GIF. Yay, workout space. Gonna go AFK. Thanks for the art time and inspiration. Yeah, thank you for being here and for the conversation. It's always a joy getting to talk to you, Cole. I hope you have a nice AFK, or lurk, as they say here on Twitch. Love you too. Yo, 2 bits. Howdy doody. We're moving into the workout portion, the movement portion of our stream. But it's very nice to see you in here. How's your Friday? I have nothing positive to say, but I'm happy to be here. Oh, okay. Sounds like maybe a rough day. Yay! I'm so glad. But I'm glad this can be a happy space for you to come to. Okay, so just for anybody who hasn't, I like to do this for anybody who hasn't been here before. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. If you want to let us know what it is, I'm happy to hear it here, or if you want support but not on stream, you can feel free to DM me in Discord or anything like that. Little dog peeing all over the place. We're gonna turn down the meme frame so that I'm not arguing with it when we go over to our other scene for over there and we don't have as good audio. Okay, yeah. Well, big huggies and hopefully some movement can help work some of it out of the nervous system. So again, just a little workout. We'll be done by 6:30. There's probably about 20 minutes of actively being up and moving around. Really only about 10 of that is inside of calisthenics. But this is just sort of an invitation to get a little bit of movement into your day, into your week. And here we focus really on mobility. So whatever state our bodies are in, that's where they are, and that's what we have to love and appreciate and work with for today. So I'm still working around a kind of hip injury. I'm grabbing that right now. That's what my arm is doing. And it's been actually a very good learning experience, I think, for me in terms of learning to slow down, really listen to what's going on in my body and figure out how to care for it when it's not performing in its tip-top form, shape, all of that. So with that, I'll move us over to our other screen over here. The audio is not perfect. I haven't quite figured out all of that yet, but I do appreciate y'all working with me. I'm gonna bring this mic over there and I'll switch to more of like stage voice. So Tuba says, yes, I need to move. Let's go. The little uppies emote, I like to encourage. This is me trying to make fetch happen. If you're going to be moving with us, you can go ahead and pop an uppies in there or not, you know, either way. Lumpy says, my skeleton feels like a bag of crumpled potato chips. No! You do have your whole toe thing that's going on. I'm pulling y'all up on Twitch right now so that I can do my best to keep up with y'all. I will be a little bit less attentive to chat as we go through things, but I do try to look over at it just to see if there's questions or things like that. But just know I'll be a little bit less responsive. So let's go meet over in the other camera. Okay. And do let me know if hold a moment. I've got to unplug and replug something. Uh-oh, is it? Let's see. Okay, it is capturing. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, okay. My voice is going through. Oh, okay, the light's coming back on. Okay, we're good.
What we're gonna do right here is go back.
Hopefully we're not cracking them too much baked. Okay. Grab our timer here. There we go. Okay. So just a brief description of what we do during movement. We always start with a little bit of stretching, breathing, then stretching, then we get into our calisthenic movements. The breathing is really intended to help us just sort of slow down before we begin with this movement. Really get ourselves in a space of paying attention to our bodies and all of the signals that are coming to our brain from our large meat bags that we have. A lot of our daily lives can be very in our heads, it can be very connected to screens, and a lot of just sort of trying to ignore what's going on. This is a great time for us to kind of reconnect with our bodies, and it's also very important that we do while we're doing movement so that we're paying attention if there are any kind of issues going on. So that's the point of our breathing. The stretching will just kind of help wake some stuff up. When we get to the calisthenics, there are 3 moves that we always do. They're different moves each time, but we base our workouts around 3 moves that we do 3 times. I'll go ahead and demonstrate those when we get to that, and also include those kind of modifications where if you're on sort of a more starting out level, hopefully those are allowing you to stay engaged with the movement, but at a level that's sort of more appropriate for where you are. So with that, we'll go ahead and do our box breathing for today. So that's going to be a 3-second breath in, a 3-second hold, a 3-second exhale, and a 3-second hold out. We'll do that probably 3 times. And again, the idea here is just to start paying attention to the body. So maybe check in, kind of work from the top and go down and just sort of ask yourself, how are these things feeling? Is there pain? Are things feeling great? Are we feeling bloated? Whatever the signals are, it's a good time to pay attention to that. So with that, we'll start our breathing in for 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. for 1, 2, 3. Hold out. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And hold. 1, 2, 3. Very good. As we move into the stretching and the exercises, I'll encourage us to maintain our awareness of that breath. And maybe we're not holding in and out, but sort of keeping that slow cadence and that slow pace. It's a very good way to remind the body, even when we're doing difficult things and maybe our heart rate is coming up, that we're A-okay. These are things our body is able to handle, and it's just a way of calming the nervous system back down, making sure it doesn't kind of run away with itself. So with that, we'll go with our standard kind of first stretch here. It's just windmills, kind of oscillating our bodies back and forth. A nice little way to stretch out the muscles of our spine and sort of wake some of those muscles up in there. Let's go ahead and do our toe touch windmill. So we'll kind of keep with the same motion, and very gently we'll start going down and touching our toes. We come back up, down. If we don't make it to our toes, that's A-okay. We'll do about 5 of these for each foot. This is starting to stretch out our glutes and the back lines of our legs. It's also a sneaky little workout. We're starting to get some of our back muscles working out, starting to get some of our core muscles working out as well. 2 more. 1 more. All right, very good. We'll do 1 more stretch, which is a forward fold. Let me just read through here. And okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do, sorry, my hair's getting crazy here. We're gonna go ahead and do a forward fold. So with this, we're gonna breathe. As we breathe in, we're gonna bring our arms to the sky, and then we're gonna fold from our hips forward until our body doesn't really let us anymore, and then we'll allow the spine to sort of curve forward and allow our arms to kind of dangle as close to the floor as they go. So breathe in, and again, slow exhale, folding from the pelvis, and then allowing the spine to curve down. And then when we're down here, we're gonna sort of use our breath to help continue with this stretch. So kind of allowing gravity to hold us in place. We can breathe in, feel those lungs inflate. Maybe we can feel the spine sort of stretching, accommodating our lungs inflated, and exhale. And maybe we're getting a little closer to the floor. Inhale, and exhale. We don't need to push here. We just sort of let gravity do the work. We can allow our heads to also sort of fall. That can be nice. Inhale, and exhale. Very good. Next inhale, we're gonna slowly come up, and we're sort of gonna unwind the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. So with the arms at the ears, slow inhale. And with our exhale, our arms come back down. All right. Very good. Thank you all for stretching out with me. Very important to help protect the body as we move into our movement. So here we've been on this practice of sort of over the course of 4 movement sessions, working our way up the body. So starting with legs, going to glutes and low core, going to our core sort of more properly, and then going to the arms. Today we're on sort of that core workout. So we're gonna do 3 moves that I'll demonstrate down here on the mat. Good idea if you don't have a sort of soft floor to be working on or a mat, would be to grab a towel, grab a blanket, just something to help cushion the knees as we do this work. So let's see. We normally do 2 exercises that are based on repetitions, and those we normally do 10 of. And then we have 1 that is based around a hold. So let's go ahead and start with our holds for the day. This is actually going to be a little bit sneaky. It's a double hold. Now this is a pretty difficult move. So again, if you're sort of on the more beginning side of things, I'll show a modification that we can do as well. So these are called side planks. So we're going to start in our plank position, and then we're going to sort of rotate our feet to the side and put most of our weight into one of our arms here and bring the other one up. What this is doing is beginning to work our obliques, our sort of side core muscles. And it's a pretty big balance challenge as well. So if you need to move one of your feet a little bit back or a little bit forward, these are great ways to help navigate that balance if we're struggling with that part. Another modification we can do to make this easier is instead of starting in plank, we can start in just sort of our cat-cow position. And then from here, again, we just kind of rotate the pelvis, and we're staying on our knees and coming into this shape. So this is a really good kind of whole body thing. We're gonna feel it in our arms, we're gonna feel it in our legs, but the focus here is on the side. So we're gonna be doing those holds for 30 seconds on each side. I do always encourage, if you need to take a break, again, listening to our body's signals, that's a-okay. Holds take a very long time to work up to, so don't be discouraged by that at all. So our other 2 exercises are going to be down here on our back. We're going to do some 30, 60, 90 leg lifts. So we start by bringing our legs up to the sky, and then I like to just sort of put my thumbs down here by my butt. It helps provide like a little bit of leverage. And then we're gonna lower our legs 30 degrees, lower them 60 degrees, and then lower them to hover. If we need to rest down here, it's okay to put our feet down and just sort of get that rest. And then we'll bring them back up. So that'll be our repetitions. We'll just go through those 3 positions and bring back up. We're gonna finish off with an exercise that focuses up on the top, because the 30, 60, 90s are gonna work a lot of our lower core. So we're gonna get an exercise that's just for our top here. So bring our knees and legs up, fingers under the head, and we're just gonna bring our upper body up and sort of try to touch our elbows to our knees. We don't want to be like cranking on our head here. It really is just however far we can kind of bring our upper torso up, that's where we take it to. Okay, so with that, I will start us off. And I'll say one more time, we definitely want to be listening to our bodies here today's workout is a lot of pretty hard stuff. So take breaks as you need to. Definitely modify these poses as we need to. We want to be safe with ourselves as we're activating our muscles here. So with that, let's go ahead and come into our plank or our cat-cow, and we'll rotate open. And we're holding here for 30 seconds. This is a great place to remind ourselves about what our breath is doing. If it's starting to get away from us and we're getting really like raspy and the pace is getting really high, see if we can slow that breath down and pay attention to the kind of strength that you can get from that. That's our first side. We're gonna rotate to the other side for 30 seconds. With our head here, we can be looking down at our hand. We can be looking across the room. You can try to look up at your raised hand. Those can all be variations to sort of dial up the balance difficulty a little bit. Very good. We're done with our hold there. We'll come onto our back for our 30, 60, 90s. So lay down, get ourselves a little bit comfortable here. Maybe our thumbs come underneath our butt. And with our feet up high, lower 30, lower 60, lower to hover, that's 1. Feet up, lower to 30, lower 60, lower hover, that's 2. Feet up, lower 30, lower 60, lower 90, that's 3. If we're struggling, we can do this with our knees sort of bent as well. That makes it a little bit less difficult. Either way we're doing it, legs up, 30, 60, 90, I think that's 4. Legs up, 30, 60, 90, that's 5. Legs up, lower 30, 60, 90, that's 6. Legs up, lower 30, 60, 90, 7? I'm losing count today. 30, 60, 90, 8. Legs up, 30, 60, 90, that's 9. Legs up, 30, 60, 90, that's 10. All right, feet can come down on the ground for a moment. Knees up, hands under our heads, and slow and controlled, bending up. 1, and 2, 3, slow and controlled, up and down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, 30-second break. And we'll go into our other hold. We can lay on our back for this 30 seconds, or we can start to prepare ourselves by getting in the cat-cow position. We've got about 15 seconds of rest left. All right, we should be getting up near the pose that we want to take for our side plank, whether that's knees or the plank. And we'll go on to our first side and hold for 30. Taking breaks is a great way to keep ourselves engaged if we need to. 10 seconds left. Honestly, a 20-second plank, 2 bits, is fantastic. All right, and to the other side. 30 seconds. We've got 15 left. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. 2 bits. I'm sorry. I knew today's workout was going to be a little bit borderline. Maybe a way to modify is for the hold to just move into the position once each time if you want to stay with it. And I would recommend for these 30, 60, 90s to just maybe take it real easy, and rather than trying to click into each position, maybe it's just with bent legs, sort of bringing them up and bringing them down. That's ultimately working the same muscles we're trying to target, that being our lower core. And if you need to skip repetitions, that's a-okay too. So we'll go ahead and move into our 30, 60, 90s. Legs up in whatever form that is. 30, 60, 90, that's 1. And let's go ahead and cut our repetitions down to 5. I think this is a pretty difficult exercise. So 30, 60, 90, that's 2. 30, 60, 90, that's 3. Legs up. 30, 60, 90, that's 4. Legs up. 30, 60, 90, that's 5. So we're gonna cut that there. Give ourselves a little moment of break. Knees come up, hands under our heads, and 10 repetitions of these crunches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, 30 seconds of break. The most Energizer bunny. That is great, 2 bits. I'm really glad that you're listening to your own limits. It can be hard sometimes to want to just go all the way. But as Cole here said to me, and I've really latched onto, we want to do 75% of what we think we're capable of. That's a great way of keeping ourselves safe. So if you're at your limits, I'm very proud of you for listening to yourself. Oh, 2/3. See, I'm upping it. 2/3. Okay, that is our break. We're gonna go into our last side plank. This is a very hard pose. For 30 seconds on our first side, I did think several times about whether or not to include this. I landed on yes, but maybe we'll dial these back. We've got 10 seconds left. And 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. We'll go to the other side. Our 30. This is our last round here. Remember, if we need to put our foot in other places to keep ourselves balanced, that's also a-okay. 15 seconds left. And 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very, very good job. Last round of our 30, 60, 90s. We are almost through our movement. So our legs come up. We lower 30, 60, 90. That's 1. 30, 60, 90. That's 2. Legs up. 30, 60, 90. That's 3. Legs up. 30, 60, 90. That's 4. Legs up. 30, 60, 90. That's 5. Feet can come down for a second. Give ourselves a little break. Then knees come up. Hands under our heads. And crunches for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. We can take a moment of rest here, whether that's on our backs or if we want to come up into our cat-cow. It's a good place here to just, again, get back in touch with that breath. We're likely breathing a little bit faster than we were at the start. Great time to just slow that down. Thank our bodies for all the beautiful work that they do right now and all day long, moving us around this wild marble that we're on. It's so much work that they're doing in the background, taking care of things we don't even realize are going on. And so with those deep breaths, giving it its primary nutrient of oxygen, and reminding our brains we're okay. All right. With that, let's come back over here. Oh, I didn't realize it was tracking me this whole time. I try to remember to turn that off. Okay. All right. How was that exercise for everybody? I do want to start actually checking in after movement if anybody has feedback on how it was for them, progress that they can feel over the course of these different movement sessions, or also the feedback of like, this is too dang hard, girl. What are you doing? That's helpful for me too. I do want the exercises to be sort of between that beginner and intermediate level, so that we are able to kind of grow into things. I do hope that modifications are able to make things more accessible, but let me catch up with y'all here. 2-Bit says, I used to be super fit, but shit happens. Absolutely. I want to highlight how important it is for us in particular to keep positive attitudes about ourselves when shit happens or life happens. Bodies ebb and flow naturally. We're never exactly the same level of fitness or shape or weight or any of those numbers that we like to put around things. From day to day, from moment to moment, it's always different. For me personally, I have always been on this kind of weight roller coaster, and you know, it's something that I probably try to exert too much control over, to a point where then I just give up, and for long periods of time am burnt out on it, and so I don't care. I've gained and lost more than 100 pounds, I think 3 or 4 times in our life so far. My intention at the moment is to sort of keep that in a smaller range, where even at the times where I'm not able to, whether it's from injury or life being busy or burnout, I'm able to keep myself sort of more within a tighter capacity. But we never know what life is gonna throw at us, right? So I think our attitudes around it, being loving towards ourselves, being loving of our bodies and all the work they do, it's a huge part of it. 2-Bit says, plus tomorrow's show is going to kick my ass. For anybody who doesn't know, 2-Bits is an incredible singer. She does do performances live with a band. So Cole says, it is seriously hard to cope emotionally with all that I carry around exercise and body image and eating. Absolutely. Qigong brings out so much emotion that I end up sitting out a lot of it. The emotions are in the body, so this wakes them up. I think that's a super important concept also, is our bodies, they're all wired up with our nervous system, which is wired into our brains. So like all of this is also brain matter. And we do keep memories, we do keep emotions stored in our bodies. That's something that the psychological community and neuropsych communities are starting to kind of come around to. Our whole bodies are a brain system. Like a bunch of crying babies or dragons all waking up at the same time. So fun, yeah. 2-Bit says, I have MS and balancing activity while prioritizing rest is challenging, but this is nice. I didn't realize that you had MS. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's I can understand that can be very difficult to that it can present a lot of challenges. So Cole says, I can imagine. Have you discovered any new adaptations that you would be proud or excited about? 2-Bit says shower chairs. Heck yeah. Rex is connected with and rooted in her wildness. That is why she and I are friends. Hee hee. Oh my god, I got a shower bench. Seriously, even if you don't need a shower chair, they're so luxurious. That's so true. Just having a sit in a shower while the warm water pours over you can be super nice. Thank you for sharing also, 2-Bits. And thank you for participating and for listening to yourself. Cole says, also inflatable Japanese style tub if you only have a shower. Interesting. Rex turned me onto the term co-regulation. I'm a big fan of co-regulation, which is basically just the idea that when we have two sets of nervous systems around, you kind of can't help but be co-regulating. You're a very dynamic part of everybody else's environment. And so whatever's going on in our nervous system will naturally be pouring out into the other person's or other people's nervous systems. And so it's nice when we can kind of consciously co-regulate with each other into sort of calm spaces. Or that's a lot of what we do on Twitch too, you know, is we co-regulate with people in kind of a digital format. 2-Bit says, I gave a tub and it gets lots of bubble baths. I just had one actually. Oh, fun. Bubble baths are so nice. I might really need to look into, I guess I have a bathtub. It doesn't drain super well, so that's why I was only thinking about my shower. But I may have to give myself a bubble bath sometime soon. Baked says, I modified foamy joints but feel better after sitting so weird. Sitting weird is such a big deal for me too. Sometimes I'm like, why am I torturing myself? It's such a bad habit. That's why it can really be an emotional healing thing. I'm right with you, Rex. Less fluctuation. That's why I'm trying to move slow and steady. I need to take care of my heart because I have a congenital heart defect. Okay. Baked says, shower chair keeps me off the shower floor. Heck yeah. 2-Bit says, at 420 braise, it just peeled me off the floor, lol. 2-Bits, I realized that you and Braise It were connected to each other somehow. I didn't realize you were in the same kind of space. Well, that right there was some fantastic movement. Thank you all for joining and participating in whatever format that was. This is sort of, this to me, this section of the stream feels sort of like the most experimental, and also is sort of the most me putting myself out there. Movement is like very important to me and who I am, specifically through yoga and dance, and so it's very nice to be able to share that in some format, particularly even while my hip is kind of healing up. So I appreciate you all helping hold the space for it. With that, we are going to move ourselves over into community games. We have about an hour, maybe a little bit less, of games that we can play with each other.